I'm Melvyn. I'm an associate professor in the Faculty of Economics at Cambridge and a fellow of Clare, and I've been working with Timberlake for quite some time. And the summer course, which is machine learning and methods in microeconometrics, is a course that we've been developing and really pushing the machine learning part. So some people might be thinking that machine learning AI is intimidating and they've never seen that before, and is it for them? Well, we accommodate that by starting from the basics. So we start from stuff that all sort of economists, social scientists will be familiar with, like ordinary least squares, simple histograms, all the sort of genesis of these techniques. So we give you a starting point, and then we gradually elaborate to get to what might be considered cutting edge methods in machine learning. It covers a range of people. It could be from students attending undergraduate. So I think that's a sort of minimal proficiency that you need, some methods in statistics. So you're interested in developing your techniques. Could be policymakers from central banks, industry investment banks, even people from Google or Amazon that are needing to develop their proficiency in these methods, but critically understand them. So what I try to do in these methods is not just deliver a whole scattergun of algorithms and techniques, but seek to ensure that those attending the course can, as far as possible, understand what they're actually learning. Historically, we have had that. We have had people from banks, from big areas where these techniques are used, are like insurance companies that are trying to understand the complexities of vast amounts of data on insurance policies, or banks and mortgage companies seek to try and understand, what characteristics of individuals are most likely to lead to good behavior when they take out a loan or a mortgage. So the vastness of the data, so-called big data, allows us to perhaps uncover understandings that wouldn't be possible with traditional methods. It starts off with a sort of almost like an exec summary, like where are we going? And then it basically goes down to ground zero. So ground zero is just working with data, working with, what is the mean, what is regression, then moving from that to methods that are predictive. You might want to predict house prices, but then the real challenge is when you take these methods and seek to isolate a causal effect. So whereas I might want to predict a house price is a prediction method, a causal method is if I'm trying to isolate one component of that price and pin down an effect on that. So we call it causal. And that is a big part of classic econometrics, and many of the delegates may know that. But then machine learning, or frontier methods of machine learning, seek to take those causal methods in relatively simple and now try and embed them in a machine learning context. And that is really the frontier of where things are at the moment. I think the big headlines is, first of all, when people talk about AI, artificial intelligence, that's in itself not very useful. One of the big components of artificial intelligence is machine learning. And machine learning is really all about how algorithms and computer code can actually come up with the models themselves rather than being prescribed. So really, at the highest level, it's understanding that what is machine learning. It's also understanding how it's different from the benchmark models that many people have understood in university or they're using in industry. So you need to understand the benchmark, such as OLS, etc. Else you might jump to ML methods without actually even needing to. So we're not just, it's not a course where we're just, pushing a particular method. We're developing understanding so they will come away understanding, and also understand areas where they might be beneficial to use these methods, and also areas when it would be wrong to. And I think that's a big problem at the moment, that people think these techniques can solve every possible problem. I think that's a big takeaway. Then on top of that, and this is the hard part, is to actually provide delegates with a narrative that they could potentially turn around to someone else and say, this is what these methods are, this is what they do, and they understand it at a relatively deep level. But that's the challenge.